Hi, today I want to show you how to do enemas. Enemas I think are really important when you're cleansing and detoxing. I think there's only so far you can get just changing your diet, and to do the naturopathic supporting techniques is really important to help your body shift to the next level. So I'd say if you've been doing raw foods for more than 6 months and you're looking to really maintain and sustain these levels of health and vitality, you really need to look into doing some of these supporting techniques. Personally, I do colonics at least 4 times a year. I do them on the equinox and the solstice, and I do enemas. At the moment I do enemas about twice a month, so every couple of weeks I'll do a couple of enemas at a time. So this is an enema bag. We sell them on the website rawliving.eu. It's very easy to do yourself, it's very simple to do yourself. The first couple of times you do it, it is a bit weird, but you get used to it really quickly and it's not difficult to do at all. So we've got the enema bag here. You can reuse them, depends what you put inside them, but I find you can reuse them quite a lot. They're very cheap, and you can use them over and over again. So it comes with 2 nozzles. Apparently, actually, this is the vaginal douche. But this is the one that I use, and this is the one that most people use. This one's a lot shorter, so I would stick with using this one. What you want to do is get your water. You want to use pure water, obviously, and depending on the size of your body, I'm quite small, obviously, so I don't fill it up. If you're a big guy, you might want to fill it up, but I usually only half fill it. So this is 2 litres, I usually put in about 1 litre, maybe a bit more than 1 litre of water in it. So you want body temperature water, so I use about 3/4 cold water, and then I put about 1/4 in boiling water. So you want to make sure it's nice body temperature. If it's too cold, it's going to shock your body. If it's too hot, it's going to be painful. So you want to heat your water in the kettle, mix it all together. I pour it into a jug, and then I pour the water from the jug into here. I always put something in the water, so usually I just use essential oils. I might put a bit of tea tree in, or a bit of lavender, peppermint, eucalyptus. Tea tree and eucalyptus are really cleansing, lavender's calming, peppermint stimulating. You can put in just a splash of lemon juice if you're working with anything like Ardea Clarity or any kind of cellular health drops, you can put those in, but something to kind of activate the water. But the first one can be pretty plain, because really what you're just doing is giving yourself a rinse out. So you want to have a hook. I always just build a hook into my bathroom wall, so that I have a hook specifically for this purpose. Usually you find that door handles are too low, so you want to find something fairly high so you can hook it up, and then you fill the enema bag up with the water. This way is closed, so you want to make sure it's closed when you're filling it up. And then over the sink you want to open it up and just let it drain out a bit, so you don't have any air bubbles in. You usually find you get a few air bubbles in at the beginning, so just drain the water out into the sink or back into the jug and tip it back in. Then when you're ready, close the nozzle again, hang it on your hook, and you need to lubricate the tube. You can use coconut oil, or I usually use aloe vera as a lubricant. And then you want to lie down. You need to some towels out. You need to be right by the toilet. Put some towels out on the floor, lie down on your back, insert the tube, and just make sure you're relaxed. There's no one around, and you know you've got 10 minutes uninterrupted, because if you start to tense up, it's not going to work. So just relax and let the water flow in. You can massage your colon as you do it, so your colon goes across like this, so you can massage your colon as you do it, and this helps because the colon is just incredible. There's when you stretch it all out, it's when you stretch it all out, it's like 3 times the length of the average human body. So the average colon is about 15 foot, and then that's not including all the villi we have in the wall of the colon. There's all these villi which are like, these are the pockets, and this is where all the dirt accumulates and all the old food accumulates. So if you stretch that out, it's even about 3 times longer again, so the same as the length of a tennis court. So really, really long. So you can massage it all, and you get into all these little pockets in the gut. Massage it all through. Once all the water's full, if you feel like you can't hold it, one thing to do is, I don't know why this works, but if you twist your ankles, for some reason, that helps you hold it. So if you feel like it's too much and you can't hold it, just close it off for a second, and try and twist your ankles and see if you can hold it, and then put more in, but don't strain yourself. If it's enough, stop. Don't try and force it in. When you've got as much as in you can hold, take the tube out and lie on your right side, because that helps gravity, helps the water get into the colon. So you lie on your right side and just keep still, and if you can keep it in for 10 minutes, then that's brilliant. You probably find that you can't, especially at the beginning, but try and keep it in for as long as you can. Maybe read a book. I usually have a book with me while I'm doing that, and then when you need to let go, just sit on the toilet, let it all go. And again, you want to sit on the toilet for as long as you can, because you'll find often that you think it's all gone and then it hasn't, and then it's a more really good thing to do as well is to sit on the toilet and have a stool there, so your knees up, because that helps with the releasing action. So have a stool to put your feet on, because squatting is a much better way for your bowels to release. So when you think you've got it all out, then I would really recommend doing a second one, because that first one is like the cleanse, that first one is like the rinse, just to clear everything out. And then with the second one, what you want to do is put all the good stuff in. So heat your water again, prepare your water in a jug again, and then we want to put some activating things in. So you could use barley grass powder, you could use wheatgrass juice, you could use some blue-green algae, some reishi. I nearly always put some oil in, so some flax oil or some hemp oil. It's a great way to get the essential fatty acids into your body. I always put some probiotics in, so a teaspoon of probiotic powder, or just open a couple of probiotic capsules. MSM is a really good one to do. You could put a tablespoon of MSM in. That's really good for really cleansing your body. Obviously garlic enemas are really good for if you're dealing with parasites. Coffee enemas are really intense. I wouldn't recommend coffee enemas unless you're dealing with something specific, or you really need to do some deep cleansing work. You know, if you're suffering from something quite severe, then maybe coffee enemas are appropriate. But if this is just a regular cleansing thing, coffee enemas are quite strong, so be careful about doing those. Yeah, I think the best thing to do is just some green powder, or maybe some reishi, along with the hemp oil, or you can also do aloe vera, put some aloe vera in, or noni juice. Basically, if it's good to go in this way, it's good to go in that way as well. You're going to absorb the nutrients through the gut wall, and the probiotics are really important to put the beneficial flora back in your gut that you might have washed out through doing the enema. So you're going to, again, don't use too much water, because you want to be able to hold this as long as you can. I'd recommend doing, up to 3/4 for an average sized person. Hang it up, get comfy, fill it up. If you can lie there for 15 minutes with this one, even better. Don't worry if you can only do it for 5 minutes, it's still going to be beneficial, but up to 15 minutes I would say, on your right side, and then flush it all out. And that whole procedure usually takes me about 45 minutes, and that includes cleaning everything up afterwards. So it's very easy to incorporate into your routine, and it's so essential. The more I learn about health, the more I understand that the gut is just the root of everything, and without having a healthy gut, we can't have a healthy body. And once we sort out things at the root like this, when we sort out the heart of the matter, if you like, everything else comes from that. So I would really recommend, if you're into any kind of health practices, to start looking at doing enemas. Even if you're just doing them once a month, I think you'll really find how cleansing it can be. The thing is, we would never go for a whole month without washing on the outside, so it's kind of crazy that we never think about washing on the inside when it gets just as dirty and just as junked up, and there's so much debris. And when you start to have the debris, because I said we have all these pockets in the villi where everything collects, when you start to have all this debris, this affects digestion, and then you can't absorb your food properly. If you can't absorb your food properly, you're not getting the right nutrients out of your food. So this really helps increase your energy and increase your ability to absorb nutrients out of your food. And I find if I don't do enemas for a while, that I keep needing to eat more, because I'm not getting as much out of my food. And once I've done an enema again, then I'm just lighter and actually get much more energy and nutrition from my food. So I need to eat less from doing them. And also it's very good for anyone who's got any kind of gut condition, because it, contrary to popular opinion, actually strengthens and tones the gut wall. So if you've got IBS or anything like that, where your gut's kind of weakened, which is really common nowadays, to start doing regular enemas can help strengthen your gut and help actually restore healthy gut function rather than weakening it. So I think that's probably everything. If you've got any questions, you can leave comments on the bottom. Please don't leave rude comments, because I will delete them. And yeah, thank you very much.